wasn't going to make a video today, but this video is going to be about basically, you know, how do we get our bearings in the market? How do we find direction? How can we tell where the market is going and which side of the market we should be on for that day, that morning, that New York session, being that this is the S&P 500. Peak hours are going to be from, you know, the basically, you know, end of the London session, or not the London close, but the basically peak hours. I'll show you later. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. to basically noon. Anyway, what is all this? Well, I'm going to show you. So basically, this is the decade opening price here. Just got this little indicator right here. But I also made these other things. I think I made them here. Quarterly dividers. Decade quarterly dividers. But also have this app here, which these are years. These are yearly dividers. You know, so obviously we could. This chart here would have more data, the regular ES, but this is just a chart that I trade on. So this is where I have all my stuff. So we have the decade opening price. We have everything divided into 1/2 and into fours. And you know, if you watch along with me and look along, you'll see, you know, a pattern, somewhat of a pattern, I think, emerge. I'll show you what I mean. So first pattern we can look at, and this is basically repeating on all time frames, what's called fractal, basically fractal patterns. If something is fractal, it's able to be observed on any scale. Okay, so that's what that means. So if you'll notice, we have this decade quarterly open, which I have not done up here, but I'll do that now, actually. Show you kind of how I do this. Real simple. You just basically zero in on where you have this, you find the candle, and you look at the opening price. Actually, you don't have to do that. You just click on this, drag it to, if it's a red candle, you drag it to the top of the body. You can check the opening price real quick, 39.15.50. Double click this, 39.15.50. Copy, paste. Bada bing, bada boom. Forget about it. Okay. Always save your work. And now you can double click this and kind of bring that back home where that needs to be there. Make sure it's locked in. You're good to go. And there you go. So I want you to notice the pattern of what I was talking about was the first quarter to the first half. So basically we have this decade quarterly open and this decade quarterly open, I project that we're going to go up, and there's a reason why. And I project that we're going to keep going up. We're going to make a new all-time high. We're going to blow this high out before the end of the next quarter, which will be December 2024, December 30th, 2024. I believe we will make a new all-time high, and the reason is because I'm observing the pattern here. Like I said, this fractal pattern occurs on all time frames. What the pattern is like I said, on the first quarter to one half. So it could be as far as halfway in, but no further than half. Typically, it's in the first quarter of whatever you're looking at. So we're looking at the decade quarterly open. We're looking at the first quarter of that. Okay, and we can see what happened. It dipped down, and then it went up. Right, and then it kind of closed off the high. That's something that you'll hear if you listen to Michael Joe Huddleston, the founder of Inner Circle Trader ICT. He'll tell you that as well. And you could just observe it, and basically, your bar chart pattern will be that. So I could start going and pull it up. Let's see, where's that? Like I got these candles, like the 12-month candle. There's different stuff like that. But I'm gonna keep it simple here, believe it or not. And okay, save that. You'll notice this pattern. Keep that in mind as we go. Okay, over here we have this decade quarterly open. It dipped down below, and that's why I think we'll keep going up and maybe close off the high. Maybe kind of go up, then kind of come back down somewhere. I'm not saying it'll get back down to this, make a new high and then get back down. It could, something like that, maybe. That would kind of make sense to me, and kind of follow the pattern of what we see. This pattern, it's not just on S&P, but let's keep going here and keep diving down deep. Let's get our bearings. We're all the way over here, so we don't need to spend a lot of time right now in this video over here. I've got all these little so let me just go into just to what this is on the left side first, so you can we can get our bearings. So this is first of all, you got the decade, right? This is the decade. This is 10-year period. Each of these are 2.5 years, and then this is a 5-year period right here. So we've got from the year 2020 to the year 2030. Okay, so this is a 5-year period right here. Within the 5-year period, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? Within the year, look what happens. It obviously follows the same pattern here, but even in the yearly open, which I do have the yearly open, you just can't see it because it's covered up, unfortunately. I could try this. This does not always work. Yeah, okay, so that's not. Yeah, and you say, well, okay, well, you come over here and put this down. Like I said, it doesn't always work that good, but so now we got that decade hidden back there, so we don't want that hidden. Anyway, what you can understand though is that the decade open price and the yearly open price on this one is the same, and that doesn't change until year 2. So we don't really need this to be overlaid in blue. You can see it. There it is. I don't know why it's not showing. Bring to front. There it is. Okay, perfect. There we go. That's absolutely impeccable. That's perfect. All right. So yearly open. So what happens is the first quarter it dips down, and it closes higher. So that actually, if we were to go and look on the basically these candles here, one of these candles, you're gonna see what this is basically a pin bar. This formation from here to here is basically a pin bar. This would be, let's see if I can find the actual thing on the chart. That's a very strong close on the year. I don't even see a candle that's that strong. The closest thing I can find would be like this. So you see this pin bar on the left here, except for the close of that year had a solid top. In other words, it had a flat top. So that was a very strong close on the year. Okay, so that's what that is. So that formation right there. That's why you got to learn how to draw candlesticks. You should practice drawing them, or just think about how they're formed, and really understand your candlesticks and how they form. The flow of the price action, that is what the candles show you is price action and the flow of price action. So it's market structure, it's everything. People sometimes poo-poo candlesticks, sometimes depending on who you talk to. But anyway, let's keep moving. All right, so we're moving on up to the east side. The next, literally to the east of the chart. So we're here in the first quarter. We close higher, right? So it's that pattern I told you about. Now look, here's the next yearly open. You say, well, what are these red things? Okay, well, these red things, if I don't have a chart perfect, you'll please forgive me. Yeah, well, maybe it'll look confusing sometimes if I don't have the chart perfect, but that little red thing's trying to come out and play there. But unfortunately I can't get it to cooperate, but you see that's what that is there. So these are your for your yearly, these are your yearly quarters, and I just don't have them like labeled properly, honestly. The proper label would be like YQO, yearly quarterly open. So you would save it as I don't think I even have designated like that. Right now I'm just trying to lay the groundwork for you to understand what's going on. So I mean, I'm not going to say here like fix all these. I guess I could, but it would take time. I'll just do these right here, and then you can kind of see what's going on. Hopefully we can pop that like that and then save it. it actually wouldn't take that long, would it, to do the rest of these, just so we're good to go here. But I don't mean to waste your time or mine, but let me try to keep talking while I do this. So the concept is the same. You'll see as we go. It really is amazing what happens with this thing that I'm talking about, this concept I'm talking about. So we'll zoom in a little bit as we get to the right side of the chart. But right now I'm just giving the overview. So we have the like I said, let's just forget about that, because that one's like messed up. I don't know. I could fix it, but like I would have to redo all this other stuff and whatever. So let's just start here. So we have this. This is a year. Okay. This is a yearly, quarterly open, yearly, quarterly open, yearly, quarterly open, and another one here. So let's spread these out. You can actually see what's going on here. Look at that. First quarter, boom, pops down, goes up. First quarter, okay, where's it at? First half. Remember I showed you? I said first quarter to first half. So the first half, it's down there, and it starts to pop up before the first half, right? And it does not go back down. It just goes up, right? First quarter, because we're in an uptrend. So first quarter. Now this one, so it's not perfect, right? This concept. So you have to keep that in mind. There will be retracements, but look at this. It gave you that opportunity, and we haven't put our levels in yet. But if I were to pop in my quarters theory, watch this area right here, and let's see. Let's just look and see what pops up, if anything pops up. Okay, we got large, small. So there's things there, right? So you could say, wow, 45,000, that's a huge level. Let me take profits. Let me really watch out. Let me really be careful, right? And that's something we'll talk about later. But that's another integration that we'll do later. But right now we are just trying to get our bearings, okay? But I just want to show you that real quick as to why that might have happened. So the reason why that happened is because that 45,000 level there, it got rejected. So keep in mind, we're on the weekly chart. So this is basically so this little thing here, you have your blue is your yearly, your red is your quarterly, right? So your yearly, quarterly dividers, and then your orange is your monthly dividers. So this little bit of price action right here is actually about 3 months worth of basically data right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 weeks ish. 12 from here to here anyway, from that red candle to this red candle. So that quarter, rejected off of that 45,000 level. But anyway, so look what happens in the next quarter. It starts off down here in the first quarter, boom, closes higher, right? So now we get to some huge level here. We need to look and see what level this is real quick. So we actually have this level up here, as you can see, 50,000. Forget about the decimals. We're not doing mathematics here. Not that we're not doing math. Not that we're not. I like math because numbers don't lie. People might lie about numbers, but numbers themselves, mathematics, 2 + 2 is always 2. you know, unless you're Joe Biden. But anyway, yeah. So moving on, but yeah. So 50,000. That's a sensitive level, you know, and it looks like price just really didn't want to stick around up there, so it wants to get back down pretty quick. So what happened was, this is a big level. You know, you might not realize this is a big level, but 47.50 or so I'll talk about this later, but basically 400,000 to 500,000, and essentially what this is the 75,000 level, 475,000. So anyway, the point is, it rejected off of here, okay, and it's getting a lot of messy, right? So we're saying, oh man, we can't see what's going on because there's so much on the chart. So let's do something about that real quick. Let's hide this real quick, and we can always bring it back in a minute. But we have a big bearish engulfing, right? So obviously, if you're bullish on the day or whatever, you know, you might have got your clock cleaned and realized, okay, maybe we're bearish now. Let me take some sells. Obviously, once we break this market structure right here, then you're looking for, you know, like you're looking for a sell. You're looking for optimal trade entry. You're looking for you know, you're looking for to be a bear, to be a seller. But let's get back to our our program here that we were on. Let me get rid of these again. Let's continue. So anyway, we had a reversal. That's my whole point. Break a structure, boom, retest this order block, which would be, not that this video is about order blocks, but the order block would be right here. Let's see where we're on a weekly. I don't even have a thing for a weekly, do I? 1 week supply, yeah. Oh, look where we are. The thing is, we've already tapped into it, but we tapped into it so soon. You know, it's expected, not surprising, in other words, that we have had a reaction recently on that, but that's not what this video is about. So I'm going to hide that, or we can leave it on there. It's up to y'all. What do you think? Hide it? Yeah, because it's confusing. It's too much on the chart. All right. It's up to y'all. Listen to me. I'm the only one talking to myself here. All right. Well, anyway, continue. Look, we have the yearly open price here. What happens? First quarter, it starts up here, and what happens? It goes down. Let's see. This is, let's see, January 22 to December 22 over here. Yeah, so it closes down a little bit off the low. So it starts up here, goes down, makes a low, closes up off the low. That's pretty normal. Now we're here on real time. We are where we are. So let's see. The end of this quarter would be why don't I have this marked? I'm about to test my skills here. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is, yeah, that's all I have marked. And this is actually the little indicator. So that will move with price. So the projection is, you know, somewhere over here. Where was it? January 4th. So it might be like right here, somewhere like right here. That might be like the end of the well, yeah, that would be the end of the year, duh. So what am I saying? Well, I'm not going to mark it because that's not my program. I use the indicator. So anyway, but we can see that we're on this upward trajectory. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the year. Okay, so what are we're doing? We made the high, right? So we're kind of closing off the high, right? So we may not go that much lower. We may go into a consolidation right here. We've got this inversion level. You know, this inversion level, you know, you could extend that out some and say that maybe price will, you know, obviously react on that. But today was bullish, and we're in a little bit. You'll see that later. We're in a little bit of a bullish market structure on the lower time frames. But anyway, definitely there's some sells there too. It's craziness. You'll see in a little bit, but that's why we're trying to get the framework here of what's going on, right? So I'm thinking for the year at least, we may have made the high for the year, and that's kind of my point. So we'll go into January. I think we're going to kind of close probably, you know, somewhere between here and here. We're probably going to consolidate, if I had to guess. You know, if we get below, but we have to keep zooming in to see, because we could be. And let's go down one time frame to the daily and look what that looks like. Now, before we come over here, well, actually what I was talking about was this yearly quarterly open, how we started down here. But until we get like to the halfway point, you can't really know for sure. So in other words, we could come up here and we could like test this level here or something. Or these other quarters series levels, like this one, we could be going up, and matter of fact, that's what it looks like to me, you know, for sure. So I'd say probably, because there's an order block here, forgive me if this is not like super, but I would say, you know, that order block there, forgive me, you know, if this is not like perfect. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just saying what I'm seeing what I'm saying. But yeah, there you go. So there you go. I'll leave that on there for a second. But so that's kind of like what I'm thinking there. Is you know, maybe a push up to here and a bounce off to here, but this is even a more significant level right here. So we could bounce off there and come back and just consolidate here, even because this is a highly significant level here. If I were to break these quarters levels down into 3 levels, right now I just have 2 levels. I've got the small and the large, but if I were to make it small, medium, and large, you would see that these would be the large, quarters levels, and that's not what this part of this video is about. Anyway, my point is, these are the more significant long-term quarters levels here, and I've got another video on that I did. But anyway, let me get back to what we're talking about here. So let's go over here and let's get a better look at the year. Break down the year. Okay, now that we're on the daily, we can get a better look, right? Okay, so what is going on, right? Like, that's the question, right? Which year are we in? Okay, so we have our decade quarterly open. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? That is the question. Okay. If you don't know what I'm referencing, look it up. Decade quarterly open. All right, let's just be in this zone right here for the sake of clarity. Decade, here it is. All right, so the decade quarterly open. This is what? This is a 2.5 year period from June 22 to let's see, how can we whatever, you just have to trust me. It's a quarter of a decade. All right, so anyway, quarter of a decade. So let's get our bearings. Obviously our decade open is down there, remember, so we're headed up. So like I said, by the end of this decade quarter, I expect us to make a new high and then close off the high, right? Come up here and close off the high. So come back to this video January 2025 and tell me how I did. But January 2025. But anyway, let's zoom in. So we have our decade quarterly open. We have our decade open. Our decade quarterly open. Okay. Now, next, we look at our yearly opens. Okay. This is yearly open. Do I not have the yearly opening price on here? Hold on, let me check something. Okay, so let me just do it real quick. It's kind of hard to see with this, but that needs to be there because that is the identifier. But you simply just put it here. So that's your deck. That's your yearly open, and you're just looking for this over here. So that's 23. This is 22, and just double click this. Double check your opening price, 3781.50. Boom, lock it in, save it. Oh, hold on, I've got there you go, boom. All right, cool. So with this one, my little theory there was interrupted temporarily because normally I would say if we were really trending long term, so this would open here and close up there if we're bullish, vice versa. But it gave us a heck of a trading opportunity just based on, actually, if this is a year, that's actually not yearly, quarterly open. That would be quarterly. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Delete that because that's invalid. My bad, dude. This is confused even for me, and I'm the one that created it, but this actually, oops. Where is it? Decade. That's a decade quarterly divider, bro. Which is where we get our freaking decade quarterly open, okay? But our yearly open, bro, is... Our yearly open was over here. Yearly open, boom, right here. Okay, cool. So this is our yearly open for that year. And this is the year we're focusing on. It was so high, I was down too low. And I couldn't even see it. But yeah, so you get what we're trying to do here. We're zooming out. You know, we're getting our bearings, right? Decade opening price. Decade quarterly opening price. Okay. When we're seeing the pattern that I was talking about, we have yearly opening price up here, the first quarter, first half, closing down here, or actually making a low, and then closing off the low here. And that's what I'm trying to zoom in, trying to look. I'm trying to see what's going on. So we closed the quarter out here, okay. You see that? You see what happened there? We opened, went lower in that quarter, and then made a high, closed off the low, or closed off the high. And then we have this year right here where we had the opening price up here. And once again, I just want to check our levels, our amazing, wonderful levels. Okay. And look at how price reacts off these levels. Look at how price reacts off these levels. Just beautiful. It's just a symphony, isn't it? Except, you know, well, down here actually we did hit that. We did tap that 3,500. So I'm always looking at the quarters theory levels. It's just so always amazing. I'm always amazed. But don't worry, we're getting ready to zoom in, make it even. We're gonna get to the entry in a minute, but look at the pattern right here. I want to show you. Okay, so let's go back. We're actually going back one more year over here. So we're here now, but I'm going back a couple years. So let's just go back to right here. Okay, so we're in the year 2021 right here on the chart right now. Look what it did. It opened in the first quarter, closed higher. It was down here, first half, closed higher. We know this was that 45,000 level. We already talked about that. That's why that got rejected. So that's why that didn't close higher. Okay, but the next month, or the next yearly quarter, look what happened. Starts the first quarter, closes higher. Okay, Okay, now we're over here to 2022, and look at the quarters. And you saw that yearly open there. The yearly open was down there at that time. This time the yearly open is up here. So what are we? We're bearish the whole year. Not that you would necessarily know that at the time. You know, it's hindsight is 2020. Price action. It's just so amazing looking at past price data. But so first quarter, we're up here. We make a low, close off the low. First quarter, we start high, make a low, close off the low. At first they thought this was the low, but it made another low. So you gotta watch out. Alright, that was 2022. Okay. We're still in 2022 right here actually. So keep going. Alright, so this quarter, what happened? Started off down here, went up here. We hit some significant you know, there was a level there or something that we hit. When I don't have my levels on, I gotta put them back on so I can see what's going on. So the thing about this level here is this level, this stupid mouse keeps getting in the way. You can see this right here, what I'm showing right here. See that? To 425,000 level. 425,000 level. Look at what happens. I want to show. Look at this. Price comes up, rejects. Okay? Rejects. You know, tries to punch through, ultimately, rejects up out of there. Okay, finally blows down through. Okay, but look, comes up, boom, rejects. You know, sort of, basically rejects that level again, pretty much. Okay, so it's not a huge surprise to see it reject up here. So if you were smart, you might say, I know we're on the daily, but you might say, all right, we need to be careful right here because this could reverse. So you'd be, you know, maybe not even trading this week. You might just take that week off if you'd already made all kinds of money, you know, or go trade something else or do whatever. I don't know. Or just be aware that, hey, you know, you might want to watch out. So, but that's my point. You have to look, you know, and watch out for these levels. You gotta always know what these levels are. But anyway, I don't want that to get too confusing. But yeah, so let's keep going about this year. So anyway, yeah, so we opened down here in the first quarter of this quarter, the first 1/4 of this quarter, and we went up. We rejected off of that very strong key level. No surprise. So we closed, you know, basically back down below here. Okay, but look what happened the next month. The first quarter of this quarter, we started down here, made a high, closed off the high. It's just over and over and over. The same thing happens. Look, started down here, made a high, basically, you know, essentially, you know, sort of almost started to close off the high, sort of almost like a doji, but finally got just this tiny little bullish candle, sort of. If you think about this this quarter in terms of a candlestick and what it might look like if you had quarterly candles, right? And so that's why you got to study candlesticks. But hopefully I'm not losing you. I'm getting sleepy trying to explain this, but it's very I'm trying to take something extremely technical and sort of make it into an art, like a paint, you know, paint a picture, paint a story, paint a something that helps you to keep it, you know, simple and understandable. It's really about patterns, I think, more than anything, especially when you get down to the entry. But let's not lose our bearings, right? That's a huge issue. So let's remember where we're at, okay? Let's get to the entry. We've talked enough about all this, I think, and basically, where were we? We were coming up on. We were just finishing talking about 2022. We were getting on towards 2023. Okay, so we were on these quarters, talking about these quarters. We just finished this quarter here. So this next one, it starts off right here, the first half. It starts going up before the first half. Okay, and then what happens? It keeps going up, makes a high, starts to close off the high, and then it keeps going. So we're nice bullish candle on that quarter. Okay, now where are we? Well, we started up here in this first quarter of this quarter, so it started coming down, right? We kind of started to go up, but we didn't make that high, so we're still intact, right? So but it closed down here, right? So now we're in a new quarter. So the question that I'm not 100%, and that's the reason why we have to keep in mind these guys here, okay? But even with or without these levels, and I don't want to be confusing, so I'll take it back off, but I want to show you just on the concept of what we're talking about. So you can say we're in the first quarter. Now this is live. I mean, this is moving right now, so this is where we are. Literally today's October 17th, 2023. So yeah, but so you can say, well, this could really go either way right now. But once we get to about the end of October, we get to November 1st, that's when we should have enough price data. Basically, if price moves up here, we see rejection, we see a reaction off of this daily supply, along with this a rejection. If we see a rejection of this very strong key level, remember, this is the key level that we were having all these reactions on to the left chart over there. Remember, we have reactions off all these because these are major. Actually, the one I was thinking of was this one. Sorry, but anyway, this one's important too. But and you almost got, like, retail trader might say is a head and shoulders, and it could be. But anyway, so my expectation is we'll come up here, reject off of this, and come back down. So that means I'm bullish right now, is what that means. That's what that means. So, but let's not lose our bearings on what we're talking about. So let's get back to what we're talking about. Yearly quarters. Okay. Now, let's not lose our bearings. We've got yearly open. Okay. So I think, this is the close of the year right here. Boom. So we're close enough now. Does it make sense to run to run a new high? No. But look, boom, we broke that structure here, broke that market structure. What it makes sense to do is to run up here, tap into this supply, and then maybe either consolidate or run down a little bit. But I don't think necessarily anything could happen. But I don't think that it has to break this low by the end of the year. But I think that it makes sense for it to kind of come down. And you say, well, you don't know. And that's true. I don't know. I'm not even looking on this video at yearly tendencies or COT data or interest rate stuff and all that fundamental this and that. Plus, there's a war going on between Israel and Hamas. The purpose of this video is simply to show you all these levels and how interesting they are. And this one, sorry to have this, if this distracts you, but these are simply, just inversion levels. You could label them. You could say, well, this is a quarterly high, from August 16th, 2022, and that's a quarterly high. But that gets what happens, or what I've found with that, and I haven't really expressed this in words or that much thought before, but honestly, thinking about it, it gets very confusing very fast when you do that. The great thing about getting your bearings based on decade openings, decade quarterly openings, yearly openings, and yearly quarterly openings is it's not ambiguous. You have a pattern. Everything is broken down into four. The decade is broken down into 5 years and 2.5 years, and the year is broken down into 6 months and 3 months, and the month is broken down into 4 weeks and 2 weeks, and however you want to look at it. And then the week is broken down into 7 days, and that's a whole framework in and of itself. But it's just these highs and lows can be very, like I said, obviously they're clearly defined, but they can be ambiguous. They can be confusing, and that is the reason why I really like using quarters theory levels. But at the same time, it's important to have these major highs and lows marked out as well. So I do have those on there, and I hope it's not too confusing. Okay, so let's not lose our bearings. So we have decade quarterly open. I think we're headed up long term. That's our bearing, right? It's just like in the military. I was never in the military, but in the military they have something called land navigation, and you map out, you plot your points, you plot your your objectives, right? So we say, well, for this decade quarter, we started down here. I think we're going to close, make a high, break this high, and then close lower, right? Okay, but that's long term. But like I said, we're getting our bearings. Okay, so now what do? We break it down into yearly. So we have the start of 2023 right here. We started down here. Like I said, this could be our high, and then we close somewhere here, I expect, and then we go from there, and we let price develop. But right now we are where we are. Like I said, I expect the price to go up, tap into that quarters theory level that I showed you earlier, And basically that's where we are now. We're bullish. We're gonna zoom in, okay? And remember, like I said, we have to wait and see how this yearly, quarterly open develops. But we're gonna zoom in. We have to zoom in. I'll show you why. So first we're gonna go slow, step by step, so you don't lose your bearings. But we're gonna have to zoom in. Okay, so we're bullish on the daily time frame. Keep that in mind. I want to show you this other pattern. I got to get rid of this. So I know it seems like a too big of a jump, but we have to do this. Now you're really lost, right? You're like, oh, what happened? All right, this is that yearly, quarterly open. Okay. This is the yearly open price. This is the yearly, quarterly open price. Okay. Now, we have not hitherto been doing monthly opens, but I thought I had some monthly opens on here. Let's see here. Okay, so you know what's happening is the monthly open is the same as the quarterly open on this one, I think. Let me check. October 1st. Monthly open is going to be the same as the quarterly open. But just to avoid confusion, let's put it in there. Monthly opening price right there. So for October, this is our monthly opening price right here. What is our pattern that we've been talking about the whole video? It opens, it goes down here to in the first quarter, starts to go up. So what is my prediction for the rest of the month? My prediction for the rest of the month is more bullishness, right? Just like I was talking about earlier. It's just more clear now because we're zooming in and going further, and we're still looking at the same patterns, okay? You know, and we're expecting, you know, price to go up according to our pattern. So let me draw September. I guess that's it right there. 4, 5, 20, 50. So there you go. Let's look at this pattern. What happened with it? First half, I said first quarter to first half, and here's a little tricky bit. First quarter, it dipped down, so our theory says that it should keep going up, right? But it didn't. It kept going down. Why did it do that? Well, I've got a sneaking suspicion as to why it might have done that. What do you think? I'll bet you could guess the answer already. This time I had to bring in the small quarters theory level to try to explain this thing. Okay, actually, it could be because these are lows. It broke all those lows. It could have been reacting off of boy, I get to where I can't see shit. Sorry for my language. But there's too much stuff in this chart. You know, and that's how I'm probably going to try to explain that one. I don't know how else to explain that sudden sharp turn like that. Some people might say, oh, it went above these, cleared these double two highs right here, like, and that makes sense. You know, maybe there was some liquidity up there for sure, and took those two things out, or swept those on the way to this order block. That makes more sense. That's a good setup, from what I've been told, is by people who make supposedly good traders. The way it sweeps liquidity, when it sweeps highs like this or whatever, right before an order block or a supply zone or whatever you want to call them. I know it's a little sloppy. You say I'm sloppy with the who say, oh, well, I claim to be an expert. I'm not that studied yet on ICT stuff and whatever. I'm just looking at what I'm looking at, and this is what I'm talking about. So anyway, something made this turn around, and that's what I'm trying to make sense of. Not saying I fully understand this. All I know is that basically if you break structure, right? Obviously, we've got all this little structure here that we broke, and we did all this mess, but ultimately we broke this major structure here and major structure here, and you know, boom, started working our way back up, making higher highs, higher lows. But we got to this point, the point of origin of the move, which was, you know, what do you want to call it, the pinnacle or the point of origin or whatever of the last apex or whatever you want to make up, basically, to explain it. I mean, that's essentially what humans do. They you know, sometimes make up things as a way to explain, and that's how it goes. But anyway, yeah. So this last little push up before the push down, and that's supposedly how you find that supply zone or order block or whatever. But anyway, my point is that let's get back rid of these, because that's not the point of the video. But look at how the first half of this monthly opening price, we ended up going down, right? It's that pattern I was telling you about. And we could keep going back here. But you can see, okay, this one actually came back to that almost. Actually, I'm getting better at this now, so I can. From there to here. You know, it started up here, it came down, made a low, closed off the low. Anyway, you can see all these patterns, and this video is getting way too long, but let me show you one more thing. What I was going to do this video, at this point, it's going to be too much for me to, I'm not going to keep going on and on and on. But if you start back here on TradingView, you say, oh, it's a lot of work. Yeah. It took me a lot of work. This took hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But you know what? I like it. I like doing it. I enjoy it. And so for me, it's not work. It's play. And I really enjoy looking at the markets. So, and drawing on the charts. But anyway, I want to show you this. So, first of all, you have to have your bearings. Before we get started, where are we? Like, what is going on here? Like, what in the world is going on? Well, basically, I would have to back out to show you, but let's pretend that we know where we are, which we don't. But here, let me do this. Not that. Okay. Go back to the daily. Where are we? Okay, well, the decade open was here, remember? On that one, and then so this is a decade quarterly open here, decade quarterly open here. We're expecting it to go higher. Okay, that's where we are. Now, zooming in further on the daily, we made a new low here, yeah, but of course we have to look at where our quarters levels are doing. Okay, let's just leave those on there for now. Boy, that's a lot, isn't it? It's too much. But that's what I'm trying to explain, is why it came down here. Probably there was, you know, a lot of sell stops below here, which is people that went long. They put a protective sell stop here. When those sell stops are taken out or triggered over here, those buyers that had protective sell stops, they become sellers when they exit their longs, and they sell to, you know, big institutional buyers and things, buyers and things that want to buy at a low price or here and push price up eventually. But anyway, all right, so I'm just trying to explain. That's why I've got the quarters levels on there, trying to explain why price turned around suddenly. But knowing that, now we have what? We have opened up. By the way, we already talked about why price turned around here, because of that major level, the quarters theory level. We talked about that earlier. This is a major level. If we go to the left of the chart, we already went once, I'm not going again right now, but that's a major level, and that's why it turned around there. So just explain that. But so we're over here now on our analysis. We, based on, you know, our theory, if we start the first quarter down here, we know we're going higher, right? And obviously you can see the price action at this point, but that's where we are. That's our bias. It's bullish on the daily. Obviously this is hindsight, but we're looking for what kind of entries we could have on the hourly, right? So we're bullish. Yearly, quarterly open, bullish. Now we have the need for further breaking down of price. So how do we do that? Well, let's see. October, November, and look, that pattern is in effect right here. October, look, you could just draw the line. It's basically right here, the opening price, from there to there. First half, it's down here. Second half, it's up. So let's start right here. $3,897.75. So now we have our bearings for the month, okay? Obviously this is all hindsight, but I'm just showing you, like, the repeating pattern repeats and it is it's, you know, fractal. So but there's something interesting I want to look. Now bear with me, it's going to get pretty loud, okay, but I'm gonna put everything on the chart that I need right here, okay. I'm going to see what happens. We already know what happens. We're going to look at what we can see. It's pretty loud right now. But now this is a very major quarters level right here. I covered that in my other quarters theory video that I just made the other day. But I want you to notice something interesting here. Now these daily opens on this indicator are not accurate. I mean, they're in the ballpark, but they're not, from what I've seen now. From what I remember, they're not super. They may have fixed it. I don't know. It looks like they might have fixed it. It looks like it's going to be good now. Or I could be thinking of the quarters theory that was on. I don't think this has one like that. Never mind. So yeah, they might have fixed it. So hopefully they did. But anyway, so what you want to notice is these three sessions. You got the Asian session, the London session, and the New York session. And what you'll notice is that most of the time the Asian session, and I learned this from ICT, Michael Joe Huddleston, Inner Circle Trader, but what you'll notice most of the time is the higher the low of the day will be made by London. So what you can usually do is you can usually buy or sell based on your bias, right? So our bias is bullish, but you really got to work this. Really got to work this based on patience, based on your monthly goals. That's coming from ICT. That's what he teaches. Keep your monthly goal, your focus, not your daily or anything. You may not get a trade every day, but if you stick to these levels, you can kill it. You can kill it. You can make it absolute kill it. You can slaughter the whole barnyard. But anyway, so these is that that is the decade quarterly open. But anyway, so what you want to look at is a lot of stuff, really, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff to this. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of stuff to this. So you want to be on the lookout for, like, if price starts to retrace, right? Like, it's pretty bad that it broke that low. Like, that's a pretty bad sign. But look what happens. Optimal trade entry long. Boom. Bounces right off of this. 79% retracement level. Continues going up. So this is like previous weeks. Basically, previous week's high, or low. But you can reasonably assume when we pushed up through here, it's going to come back and retest, and then boom, exploded up. Hit this congestion up here, hit these levels. and came back down. It looks like it tried to get below it, wasn't able to. Came back up above, retested, exploded off of there. But there's so much that goes into this, and I don't claim to be an expert. What I did want to do is, like, do my best to make a video on the levels that I use and give you some idea why I use them. But what we're looking for is patterns, repeating patterns. We're trying to see the algorithm working and be, essentially, somebody might say, become the algorithm. But there's just so much that goes into it. You have to keep your risk low. Try to keep your reward high. And if you look, this yellow, that's our weekly, right? There's a indicator, days of the week, that shows us. I didn't want to have it on there because it was like gonna make it messy, but this is our weekly, basically, our weekly profile. You could have what you call Sunday opening, right? Sunday opening price. Okay. $3,911.75. Now the orange levels are stronger than the yellow. The red levels are stronger than the orange. So the strongest levels are the red levels. The next strongest level is the orange, and then the next strongest level after that is the yellow, and then the next one, the weakest one, the next one is white, and then the weakest ones that I use are like gray. And that's the only colors I use for like my lines and quarters theories and all that stuff. So this is Sunday opening price. Now look at the pattern, same pattern I've been talking about. Makes the high right here, the first quarter of the first half, which is Tuesday, and look when it makes the high. Right here between London and New York. Boom, makes the high. Closes down here. You want to be out of the trade by about 1 p.m. or sooner, because the ideal time for this one was 11 a.m. as the ideal exit to be done. Because look at it, it's always a consolidation after New York, except for here. Because if I had to guess, I don't have my news. For some reason, I don't have my news turned on. I'm not sure. really even screw with the news that much, but typically I'll have the I don't know, it's not showing the news, but I'm guessing there was some huge piece of news there. Why is it not letting me put the news on? I need to learn how to use this, right? Whatever. Anyway, typically it's not going to do that. But it did. It did. It did do it. But it's usually not going to do that. So anyway, we keep going. Pattern repeats here. Same thing. Here. Same thing here. Same thing here. There was a pattern I was looking at between these. I don't know if you can see it on the hourly all the time, but it really is almost like a jigsaw pattern before it takes off. Usually there's like I was noticing it's usually like a 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, right? Let's see. I guess not every time. I was seeing it on some of the more recent ones. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. One, two, three, four, boom. And it usually starts in the direction of the flow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. But anyway, this indicator is called Asian Session Range, and then you can see the rest of them. But anyway, that's going to be it for the video. I gotta go take a nap. You can see there's a lot that goes into picking a direction and trading it. And it's just more than I can make in one video, and this video is an hour and a half already. So anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys, and thanks for watching, and until next time.